So I'm working with ArcGIS knowledge, and I have this link chart here, and what I want to talk about is how I'm going to get this to become viewable in a map. So I have some non-spatial qualities, I have some chemicals that are contaminating these various counties at these various sites where the contamination was found. So these are all throughout the state of Virginia, and what I'm going to do is just show you when you go to the layout tab, you go to geographic, this is how you get this data on a map. So before we click that button, I want to wind up and show you can do this in a couple different ways. You could say, let's do this. So I could take all this, everything here, and put it on a map together. Or let's say that I'm trying to hone in on understanding the uranium contamination problem. And then what I would do here is say select neighbors, and then I'm selecting everything that is contaminated in the water of. So all these counties that have uranium in their water, I'm going to take them, I'm going to say add to new link chart. So I'm going to make a totally separate link chart, and by that way we'll be able to do the layout spatially on a map of just the places that have uranium in the water. So now that we have this link chart, all contamination, I'm going to change the name of this. It's going to say link chart uranium contamination, and then from here we'll go layout and geographic, and then from there we should have a much different view, and this would have uranium over here as a non-spatial entity. I'm going to move that way. And we can see all of the places that uranium is contaminating the water. So these are all of the main locations across Virginia that uranium has been found in water since 2014, according to this data set. So just showing you how this works, there's a couple of other interesting layout configurations. I'll just show you a few of them real quick. And this is just for just kind of general knowledge sharing, just kind of showing you just a project I'm working on, just kind of exploring how this works. If I go to layout and pick any of these, I'll go and I'll show you, I'll try radial root centric. So that makes one visual of a link chart. Now at any point in time I could take one of these and I could move one of these entities wherever I want. So that way it shows up just the way I like, so you can pretty much start with any of these layouts and then modify it. I'm going to try a node-centric approach. This kind of just hones in on the fact that fluoride is found in a lot of these locations, as opposed to some of the other chemicals that are found, maybe not as prevalent. But you kind of see that the what I think is interesting about this is you have some of the perfluoro family, the PFOA family of contaminants over here, and then you have some of your metals, your elements over here, kind of related to maybe nuclear related runoff or waste, or however tritium or radium got in the water. And so those are kind of pocketed and related to kind of separate counties in a way. But what we could do is go and say we could select those, then hold control, and also select these. Oh, actually that's not control, but what we can do is we can go ahead and we can select multiples. That's shift. Yeah, so if you do shift and you select multiples, then we'll be able to actually take the PFOAs and the I'll call them nuclear relevant metals, because I'm not necessarily sure the best way to describe those. Add those to their own link chart, and then we'll just do analysis on strictly those. So when we get these, we might want to go through a layout, change that to standard layout, which is a little bit messy for me. We might try hierarchical. We'll see what that looks like. So yeah, that's pretty interesting. So let's see if we can do that. And then I think what would be cool is to try geographic again. And what's kind of neat is that if you were to group all these different PFOA related contaminants, you'll see those are mostly in the north, kind of around the DC area. And then if you look down here elsewhere in the country, that's where some of these other nuclear metals are found. But they're also found in the north, but the PFOAs are not as broadly connected. So you see if I click on that entity and select the neighbors, or do that for any of these, I'm going to see that a lot of those exist up north, and there are some centrally located ones. If you look down to southeastern Virginia, you'll see that mostly we have those metal elements and not the PFOAs down here, so, or PFOAs, or however you say it. So I hope this is helpful. Just kind of a cool exploration here. If you watched this far, thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in another video.